So hey guys, and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be ranking every roller coaster at Alton Towers Resort. So I know that this is a totally original idea and no one has ever done this before, but because I love Alton Towers so much, and we've got a semi-permanent date for when theme parks are going to reopen, I thought I would make this video for you guys. So if you do go on to like this video, please smack that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single video. So without further ado, let's get straight on into it. So just a disclaimer, you won't be seeing the Octonauts roller coaster on this list. It's just because I haven't ridden this roller coaster, therefore it wouldn't be fair for me to put it, say, above another roller coaster on this list that maybe deserves a bit more love. So as I say, once I have ridden this roller coaster, I'll probably do an updated list in the future for you guys on this channel, so definitely make sure you subscribe for that. So in my number 9 spot, we have Rita, Queen of Speed. So Rita, Queen of Speed is an Intamin hydraulic launch coaster, only one of 2 Intamin hydraulic launch coasters here in the UK. It has a top speed of 61 miles per hour, which is quite slow for a hydraulic launch coaster, and a ride duration of 25 seconds. So to those regular viewers who watch my channel regularly, this will come no surprise to you. I make my dislike for Rita very apparent across all my social media platforms. As I say, Rita's launch is actually okay. It's just the rest of the layout that's very disappointing. It might as well launch and go straight back into the station for me. It's just got nothing going for it. Some people do like this roller coaster, and I can kind of see why, because it's got some quite intense moments throughout that 25 seconds layout. But as I say, it's just not for me. So for me, this roller coaster just seemed rushed. It really did. And it wasn't even a secret weapon for Alton Towers. So it's no surprise that this ranks at the bottom of my list. So next we have Oblivion. This is a B&M dive machine with a top speed of 68 miles per hour and a drop of 180 feet. Now the first time I ridden Oblivion, it did absolutely blow me away. It's just that on re-rides, it gets less and less exciting for me. Now again, you've got to understand that I've been going to Alton Towers for so long now. Oblivion just doesn't excite me anymore. I feel like Oblivion's re-rideability is very slim, so that's why it ranks at this place. So I can see why this would be at the top of people's lists, and I do know quite a few people who watch my channel that do rate Oblivion quite highly. Are probably going to penalise me in the comments for this decision actually, and I can understand for some smaller people why this would be an exciting coaster to ride. Again, the first couple of times you go on it, it does have that excitement factor, but again, for someone who's been going to Alton Towers as long as I have, unfortunately Oblivion has lost its magic a bit for me, particularly because you sit on the brake run as well for about 4 minutes before you're released in the station. So at number 7 on my list we have the Runaway Mine Train. This is a Mack powered coaster, and it's a real hidden gem in my opinion at Alton Towers Resort. So this roller coaster sits in the Katanga Canyon area of Alton Towers, and again it really is a gem of a coaster for Alton Towers to have. There's some great moments on this ride in my opinion. It's just that I don't feel like it compares with some of the other coasters that Alton Towers now has on their roster, but again there are some great moments to be had. For instance, when you're going through the tunnel, that interaction with the Congo River Rapids is absolutely fantastic, especially if you catch a raft going by when the mine train is going through that tunnel. It's absolutely fantastic. Also, that second helix before you go into that tunnel, that is really quite forceful. You do get some great speeds. But as I say, compared to other roller coasters in the park, unfortunately, it just doesn't stack up for me. So at my number 6 spot, we have Spinball Whizzer. This used to sit in Storybook Land, but unfortunately it's sort of in its own no man's land at the moment. It's not really fitting in with any area of the park, and that's partly why it's at this spot on this list. I do feel like it would rank higher than some of the coasters on this list if it did did have a more solid theme. It used to be themed to Sonic and was formerly known as Sonic Spinball, but that theme got removed when the Alton Towers Resort lost that IP. So there are some great moments on this roller coaster. One of my favourite bits of the roller coaster is actually the lift hill. You go up the lift hill so fast, it's unbelievable. Also, the horseshoe element is really great. You get some great spin on that horseshoe element, particularly if you've got somebody sitting on your side and nobody sitting behind you, because the way that the Mara spinning coaster cars are designed is you have two people in the front and two people in the back. And again, if there's nobody sitting behind you, you can get some great spinning action on the go. It's absolutely fantastic. So at number 5 on my list, we have Galactica, formerly known as Air. So Galactica is B&M's first ever flying coaster, and it was touted as the hero of Alton Towers lineup at the time because you had Oblivion and Nemesis, which were meant to be the villains, but then you had Air, which was meant to be the hero. Now Air is a very hit or miss coaster for me. I can either have a great ride on it or I can either have a boring ride on it. It just depends on how the coaster's running throughout the day. One thing that bothers me about Air is when the throughput is really low and the staff are taking their time to get people out of the station. Unfortunately, you can be sat on the brake run for some time, and because of the vest style restraints on Air, it can get a bit uncomfortable for me. But I've never sat on the brake run for more than probably 5 minutes, so it's not a huge issue, but again, it just gets a bit uncomfortable. So I absolutely love the first drop on this roller coaster. You come down that drop and through the Galactica portal now with some speed and some great forces. I really do feel like this roller coaster is designed very cleverly. John Worley really had an idea for how he wanted this roller coaster to be. He wanted to give you the sensation of flight, and in my opinion, that's exactly what you get on this roller coaster. Now, is it the best coaster in the park? Definitely not. I can either have a good ride on it or I can either have a bad ride on it. The only ride I got on it this season was a good ride, so it's left a good taste in my mouth. But as I say, I just don't feel like it deserves to rank above some other coasters on this list. If you go down to the woods today, you better not go alone. So at number 4 on my list, we have 13. This is a Intamin multi-dimension coaster, and man, this really is an underrated ride. So this was a marketing disaster when the roller coaster opened. The marketing director for Alton Towers at the time said that you had to sign a waiver to even get on the ride because of the lasting psychological effects. Thankfully, that wasn't the case because the queues would have been huge. But what you do get is a great family coaster. Again, it appeared on my most underrated roller coasters list for a reason. This roller coaster just doesn't get enough love. That drop element as you go into the shed is absolutely fantastic. If you're not expecting it or you're riding that roller coaster for the first time, it really does take your breath away. One of my favourite bits of that roller coaster actually is when you drop and you go backwards. It does launch you backwards with so much force. It's actually quite surprising. It does still surprise me every time that I do go on this roller coaster. And then you go on the upwards helix and back into the final brake run. Also, I really do like the drop on this roller coaster. Jesse and Kieran from the KD Adventures were talking about this actually. And the drop is actually surprisingly tall for Alton Towers. So one interesting thing to note about 13 is when they were designing this roller coaster, they didn't have permission from Historic England to knock down any other trees because all the trees in that area are listed. So they had to build the layout around the trees. In my opinion, that really worked out for the coaster because you get some great twists and turns. as you do go around those trees. Would I like it to be a bit longer? Yeah, but because of that trim brake on the drop, it doesn't have enough momentum to sustain a longer layout, so I can see why they did that. But as I say, it is an underrated roller coaster and it doesn't get enough love. So I'm going to give it the love that it deserves and place it at my number 4 spot. That's right, at my number 3 spot, we have the Wicker Man. Now this is a GCI wooden roller coaster and Alton Towers' first ever wooden roller coaster, opening in 2018. This is such a package coaster, and what I mean by that is you get a great ride, you get great theming, great operations. Everything on this roller coaster is just great and I absolutely love it. So this roller coaster is themed to the Bjornen. They are a people that live in some ancient woods and believe in the spirit of the Wicker Man. They believe that sacrificing people to the Wicker Man gives them eternal well-being. Again, I love how Alton Towers came through with a dark theme here. What you are getting here is a family coaster, and that is apparent on the layout. You're not getting anything too long, but you're not getting anything too short either. You're getting the right amount of forces, the right amount of airtime, and the right amount of intensity in the right places. I really do feel like Alton Towers hit the nail on the head with Wicker Man. When they opened it, this was the first wooden roller coaster in the UK for over 20 years. Just let that sink in for a second. Believe it or not, but Wicker Man could have been an RMC. The reason it wasn't an RMC is because Alton Towers wanted the first Woody in the UK for 20 years, and boy did they deliver, and that's why it sits at number 3 on my list. So if you're a viewer of my channel, you know what my top 2 are. At number 2, we have the Smiler. So this is the world's first Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster. It's the world's first coaster with 14 inversions, opening in 2013 and still isn't beaten in 2021. Now I followed this coaster right through its planning stages and right till it got built. I absolutely adore this roller coaster, and it did rank at my number 1 spot until about 2017, 2018. As I say, I love the layout, I love the intensity on this roller coaster that it gives in some places, and I love the airtime hills. Do I feel like this coaster needs 14 inversions? No, but because it does have those 14 inversions, it is a technical marvel. I really don't get the hate around this roller coaster, and I understand that people do have a bad view on it because of what happened in that tragic Smiler accident, but I really do feel like that reputation overshadows a great roller coaster, and that's why it places number 2 on my list. At number 1, we have my number 1 roller coaster in my entire list of roller coasters, and that is Nemesis. This is a B&M invert, and man, this is one hell of a roller coaster. Coming from the bottom of Forbidden Valley, this roller coaster was encased in steel by the Fanax operatives. Man, I love the story of this roller coaster. I love every moment on this roller coaster. I really do. I don't feel like there's a moment on this roller coaster that I prefer over any other moment on this roller coaster. It's just intense throughout, and I absolutely love it because of that. This was the second ever B&M inverted coaster, and John Morley really knocked it out the park with this one. Again, it's my number 1 coaster for just from any coaster really that I've ridden so far, and bearing in mind this roller coaster opened in 1994. So this roller coaster is due for a refurb in 2022 if the rumours are to be believed. I do believe we will get our final rides on the original Nemesis in 2021. But as I say, there's nothing really more that I can say about this roller coaster then. I just love it. Again, I love the theme, I love the way it hugs the terrain, and I love every bit of intensity on Nemesis. So guys, that has been me ranking every roller coaster at Alton Towers that I have ridden. If you have gone on to like this video, please smack that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single video. Also, let me know down in the comments, what are your top coasters at Alton Towers? I'll be really interested to know. Let's start a discussion. So guys, I've been Ryan from My Coaster, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.